Hello, friends. Intuitive Rene here. I'm bringing you your daily tarot reading for Thursday, the 22nd of July, 2021. And today I am working with the gorgeous and the wonderful Dreaming Way Tarot. I see I'm not quite up. Dreaming Way Tarot is such a beautiful deck, and I'm sure we're going to get a gorgeous message from it today. So let's get straight into it and see what is the energy of the day ahead. What do we need to know? What is the message that Spirit have for us? The first one we have is the Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords, I have a different interpretation on this card to traditional tarot. And the Seven of Swords to me is the card of saying we need to do some planning. Okay, before we jump into action, before we get busy, before we do anything, let's actually take a minute to think about it. Let's take a minute to strategize. Let's take a minute to plan our activities, because if we don't, we're not going to be as successful as we should be. So the story behind the Seven of Swords is this person has the intention or the desire or the want to collect the swords, okay? So they've rushed out. You can see there's almost this kind of energy of rushing, this energy of running towards the swords to collect, but they haven't given any thought to how they're going to carry the swords. So they're sort of throwing them in their arms, and obviously swords have sharp edges and all of these kind of things. And we're now at a situation where her arms are full. She's carrying as many swords as she can. Um, and because time is restricted, time is limited, she's needing to leave two behind, which is sad. But had she taken a minute, just 1 minute, to think about it before she moved on to her project, before she ventured out to collect her swords, had she spent a minute to think about it, she could have brought or carried with her some kind of container that could have carried the swords easier, so that she wouldn't hurt herself. Instead of now having to leave some swords behind, she could have actually have taken them all with her. So that's why I like to change it from thievery and theft and taking what's not yours to more about planning. It doesn't matter what you want to do in life. Sometimes there is spontaneity, yes, but even in the most spontaneous moments, we do take a minute, we do take a second to actually think and strategize and to come up with some kind of a plan before we run in, because otherwise, you always stand the risk of hurting yourself, number one, or leaving things behind and not achieving everything that you had set out to achieve. So today, even though the energy is going to be busy, even though the energy is going to be, get out there and do what you can and do it as quickly as you can, take it almost as a warning, if I can say, to just take a minute and plan, take a minute and strategize, take a minute and think about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how, well, exactly how are you going to do it. All right, let's go into our second card and see what message it has. Yeah, so right, so there's a theme developing here. Okay, so we've gone from the Seven of Swords, which is about spontaneity, taking advantage, taking things that you want to take, but it has the warning of planning and having a bit of a strategy, to the Ten of Wands, which is the card of back-breaking burdens. Okay, so you can see here, it's similar kind of actually situation. So they're trying to carry these 10 rods, these 10 sticks, these 10 wands, and they're very long, they're very big, and it's backbreaking. You can see how bent over the person is in trying to carry this burden and trying to move it from point A to point B. So very much like these swords are double-edged and are going to cut our arms and our sleeves and our clothing, here we have backbreaking work. So the Ten of Wands is about, backbreaking burdens, carrying burdens for such a long time, and just waiting until you get to that point where you can actually put your burdens down and relieve the pressure on your physical being. Um, so Seven of Swords is more about the strategy that you put into it. So definitely, whatever you are working on at the moment, whatever you're going through at the moment, whatever you're doing at the moment, we are probably rushing in a bit blindly, and it's creating I almost want to say like a major kind of, I'm going to call it, conflict with your physical and your mental self. And you may be struggling to find balance, you may be struggling to figure out what next. Okay, how do you actually handle this? How do you actually move on from this? So if this is how you're feeling, if you are not feeling this way, take this as a warning that you're heading that way. If you are already feeling like this, you need to stop. Okay, you need to stop all activity, stop all action, stop everything that you're doing. Exhale out, relieve the stress, and then think. Take a minute, 1 minute. You don't have to spend a week planning and strategizing, just 1 minute and say, what am I actually wanting to do? What am I actually trying to accomplish? How am I going to do it? Because even here, these 10 wands that they're carrying, there's got to be an easier way of carrying it. You don't always have to do everything on your own. Use rope, use a sleigh, use a car, use a whatever you have access to. Use it to help you. Don't feel like you always have to carry the burdens on your own. Okay. Let's have a look and see what the last card is, because it'll tie in the message, hopefully. Oh, wow. Yeah. Sometimes all we can do is laugh, eh? So we've got the Seven of Swords, the Ten of Wands, and now we've got the Five of Swords. And again, there's this carrying swords business. So it's almost like a continuation from this one, backbreaking and so on. But the Five of Swords has a slightly different message. The Five of Swords is basically saying, because we've got to ask yourself now, are you this person who is walking away with nothing? Or are you this person who has accomplished and grabbed everything? Who are you in this particular situation? Are you the one, the loser, or are you the victor? Are you the one that is succeeding at everything? Or are you, because you tried too hard and you didn't plan and didn't strategize, that you're now left empty handed with nothing? Or are you the one who's going to succeed? So I really think, looking at these two cards, it's either a case of you are already here and you need to stop, you need to breathe, you need to strategize before you move so that you can succeed. Or it's a warning that if you don't overcome this, this is who you're going to end up. This is who you're going to be. This is what you can look forward to and expect. So with the Five of Swords, you're either the person who has gone against all the odds, who has not given up, who has pushed through to succeed against all odds, or you are the person who is coming off second best, who has not succeeded, who has not achieved anything, and who is left feeling a little bit abandoned and a little bit rejected and a little bit of a failure. So let's hope that this is who you are, because you're going to take the advice and the guidance that we've given you in these two cards, and you're going to give it a bit of thought before rushing in. So today's Thursday, and I know as we get closer to the weekend, we almost want to just hurry up and get our things done. We want to just, complete all our projects and complete all our tasks and just get it out the way so that we can hopefully relax as the weekend comes. But honestly, this is I do think, quite a strong warning. Think before you react, think before you respond, think before you do. Don't try and carry all the burdens on your own. Don't try and do everything by yourself, because you're going to break your back and you're going to end up with a couple of scratches and a couple of slices, and you're going to end up with nothing. Okay, rather stretch the load, reach out, strategize, think a little bit, use what's available to you to assist you, to make it easier so that you can succeed and have the happiness and the joy and the success that you deserve. So a bit of a tough one today, friends, but honestly, I think it's an important message and probably one that we all need to hear. So as always, with love and blessings, from my heart to yours, until we connect again, take care.